last time we met, we were both in Hong Kong airport at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
funny.
And then it was funny, yeah. And then Okuno-san was there. Right now he's in D-Rocks, I believe.
Okay.
Still in League One.
Yep.
Yeah, he's strength coach of the D-Rocks.
Any new insights? Because you always have something. Because you always have something. Or any new confirmations?
Good and bad is beautiful.
Mhm.
That's beautiful. So, yeah, I will send a link of what he has to say about life, and then he helped me. Yeah, it was a good call for me. So, and then I keep listening to his tested life. Yeah, I don't know what's the title of it, but he was just in an interview, and life is about not about, how can I say, when you want something, and he's a Muslim, so he uses the word God, and yeah, and he's saying God will test you. God will test you or life will test you by giving everything you want, and punish you by giving everything you want, and see if we can handle it. So that was a good one. I kind of, that hits me too. So let's see if I can handle what when I get what I want.
Yeah, I remember I watched the same video a couple years back, I think, and then I was thinking, because I feel the same way. Life gives you, part of it is you have to earn it, I think, but you reach the point and life gives you exactly what you want. But when I reached that point, it was nothing like what I dreamed of. And so, and then also it kind of reminds me of what do you call, the people who skip steps. You want, and then sometimes people get the blessing early or too early, and then you can't handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what that happens. Yes, that happens. Happens to me, happens to many people, and yes, that happens. We have that in career, we have that in life, we have that in romance. So yeah, it's sometimes it feels like sand slips away between your fingers. Yeah, it's tough.
That's a big sigh. Hey,
I live longer than you, so I had that kind of experience.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was coming through. Okay.
Yes. So. Yeah. And then,
maybe you have more experience than me, but
no. It's okay. I respect your experience. Yeah, and I was so recently. I've been speaking with so many athletes. Yeah, and well, because what I'm trying to do is basically build like an athlete community. Yeah, and I want to build this community, and where it's not a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast because too many podcasts, and that's not my style. I just phone people.
Yeah.
And then you get the most natural version of the person, I think, if you just call them. And so so I'm calling people and then editing it and then putting their insights, their experience on YouTube and Instagram. And so to help the younger athletes, the youth athletes. And I think I'm at that point in my life where I can do that. And
I believe so.
ありがとうございます. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so it's just interesting, like, and I think you would appreciate it because I feel like you've been through many things. No, yeah, because I like talking to certain athletes. The athlete, and this isn't to criticize or to insult anybody. Everybody's life is everybody's life. But the athlete or the individual who they just, because they're so gifted and so talented in this specific field, they always get picked. They always get picked, no problem. So they kind of, they miss out in a way of the other experiences, like having to earn the coach's trust, or like what it's like to sit on the bench, or just certain things that most people go through. And so when you try to speak about certain things about the human experience, it's kind of, they don't have that experience because they're so gifted. And so in a way it kind of made me really appreciate my life so far, because I was never the kid that's always picked by coaches or this and that, or like, I've experienced high points, of course, but I think as a leader, it's very important if you can relate to each person in the team.
Yep.
So it's just an observation that I recently made. I don't know how correct it is, but it's something that I feel makes me appreciate. Oh, I'm so glad that most of my yeses didn't come easily.
Yep. And that reminds me of when I was reading a book about it's a Japanese book, and it's a professional soccer player who got, I believe, he got an illness around his hip. And then the book title is in English. Direct translation is I just want to kick one more time. もう一度蹴りたかった in Japanese.
Oh.
So, yeah. もう一度 basically what you just said. Like he never experienced. I think he played for Team Japan national soccer team. So and then he never had a problem up to that point. Say, even if he get injured, so he had this experience. He had to pay everything. Up to that point, he didn't pay. He didn't have to pay anything. He's just going to be team's going to send him to the rehab facility, national training center, and then everything was free basically, just because he's popular soccer, international player in popular sports. But what he saw in a rehab facility in the national training center was different from what he experienced. Like say other minor sports, like not so popular sports. I'm not gonna forget the sports, but they need to self-fund.
Yeah.
The hotel, transportation whatsoever, and then he felt he was lucky. I thought everything was given, and then he thought everything was just like others were just like that, but no, he needs to go through that, and then so that as soon as you said that, I remember that book. So I believe those books will help other athletes. Say right now, as I said, I'm reading a book called Undisputed Truth, like this, by Mike Tyson, and it's very disturbing. I mean, as on the back of the book said by the Wall Street Journal, undisputed truth is raw, powerful, and disturbing. And I felt nausea when I was. I feel like I'm gonna throw up when I was reading this book, but this is my favorite book. I mean, how come he can? Yeah, I'm so happy to read. I was so happy to read this because I have to. I mean, I'm not his level, but yeah, what he went through, and sharing on the book, as well as this book has, it's very, how can I say, feed forward. It's very it's not a feedback, it's a feed forward. So I think smart people, I heard idiots never learn. Smart people learn from mistake, and wise people learn from others.
Other people's mistakes.
Other people's mistakes. So I never been his level, and I probably never will. But yeah, there are a lot of especially athletes nowadays have more distraction, more money. So this will, I think, help. Now, I usually recommend this to my athletes, especially young talented one. And read this book, learn from what he went through, and then do not make a mistake as he made. He went through a lot, and then now he's very wise. Yeah. So also Tyson Fury also. Tyson Fury is also a good one to study, and
So because I feel like you're really, the S&C coach is such an important role. I think.
I hope so.
I think no. It's true. Like it's such an important role because you're always on the field. You're always with the teammates. You're always competing. And of course, because it's sport, your job is to compete. That's what it is. And you're always being like critiqued and evaluated. And especially when you're a younger athlete, you're kind of looking for trust and approval from the coach or maybe your teammates because you want to be good, etc., etc. And then of course you can get the competition element in the gym. But I feel like S&C is the only place where you can really mess up and it's okay because you're gonna get better.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That's the I always. So when I worked with a professional boxer, he is good. He's one of the top 5 in the world, and but he didn't like making mistake. Any mistake, he was like, like this. He gets really frustrated. And then one thing I told him was, just like you said, this is a place you can make a mistake. You know, you can't make a mistake at the highest level as he competes, still competes in the level like top 5, top 10 in a professional boxing, especially. You know, one mistake, you're gonna be knocked out. It's just, I mean, martial arts, including boxing, is very unsporty, to be honest, because that happens. Even though the match game is like 3 minutes long, or 5 minutes long, or 15 minutes long, you can be finished like 1 second.
Yeah.
Within 10 seconds, you're gonna be out.
Yes.
And yeah, so you can't make any mistakes. Any mistake. But again, I just assure him this is a place you can make a mistake and learn from it. Just don't you know. I mean, he was very disciplined, and he still is. So I didn't have to say the sentence, but this is a place you can make a mistake, but at the same time you have to, yeah, I just make sure they are disciplined too.
Yeah, it's like a safe space, you know.
Yeah, it's safe space, you know. But all I want from then is you know, focus and the intensity, and then it's all about. I mean, in the professional world, I can't say it's all about process, because they need a result. But at the same time, I will never ask them, you know, winning or losing. What they learn, what they learn from their losses, what they learn from their wins. So I hope that will help them. Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, how. I've never been coached by you, but it'd be really cool to be coached by you. And when we do talk, it's always like I'm being coached by you, even though it's not in the gym. But like, how do you get the most out of your athletes? Because it depends on the athletes, but I feel like you're good. You're good at that part.
No, I have to disagree.
Okay.
With that, athlete needs to want
it. Can you explain?
So it doesn't. I'm not in the field. I'm not going to be on the field. I'm not going to compete, and I'm not going to be the one who experiences a consequence. I mean, my consequence can be just get fired, and then it sucks. Of course, it sucks. But all those humiliation. Former head coach. I mean, you definitely know his name, Nick Saban. He was. I mean, if you type in on the YouTube Nick Saban rant. all his rants are there. But one of the rants in the YouTube I liked was, you know, he said, I mean, probably NIL changed everything. Has changed and will change everything, but it's before NIL. And he said, no athletes willing to lose, or something like that line. I forgot. I mean, athletes the one who get humiliated most. Athletes the one who wants to win the most. Not the fan, not the coach, athletes. So I like that part. And going back to what I said, I have to dial in to where they are. I have to meet where they are. And I have to know where they want to be. And luckily, in my experience, in my career, most of the players, I get to meet where they are, and then intensity. They appreciate the intensity and also focus I give to them to get where they want to be. Say, men's lacrosse, Japanese men's lacrosse team. When I was coaching them, everybody wants to compete against top 3 or top 4, namely United States, Canada, Haudenosaunee, which is indigenous people group who invented lacrosse, and also Australia. And at that time, last 2023, they competed, and their pool game shocked the world. Of course, their performance shocked the world, but they really won it. And so is Team Japan breaking team and Team Japan breaking. B-boys and B-girls, like, say, Shigeki, Sayumi, Ami, Ayumi-san, Ami, and also Ishin. Oh, I forgot her name. Oh shoot. Oh, just a second. Let me check. Let me check. Oh my god. Let me check. I forgot her. Oh my god. That's very bad. That's very bad. I just blanked out for some reason. Let me check. Oh, it's just frustrating. Yeah, I don't like that feeling. I mean, I like. Oh yeah, Rico. Yes, Rico. Big girl Rico, and so they won it, and that professional boxer, he won it too, and I always tell athletes, you need to win it. So otherwise, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can be, helpful guy, but if they are not willing to do what they need to do at the intensity they need to be in, or focus they need to have, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, it might gonna happen, but if they have that, but it ain't gonna happen unless they do that, or unless they are really, 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 really talented, like say, LeBron James. I mean, they make a lot of effort, of course. A lot of talent, then they might get to where they want to be, but probably they can't stay.
Yeah, you can't sustain it. There's no consistency.
Yeah, you can't sustain it. Yeah. So, it's a long story. It's a long rant from me. But
it's okay.
So I want to help them, but they need to want it. They need to want it. So I learned this sentence. I learned this phrase. Say, I can bring thirsty horse to the pond or a lake or a river, but it's up to the thirsty horse. That thirsty horse, if he wants to drink water from that. So I mean, it's a lot of layers, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I need to earn their trust. I need to earn their I need to get the buy-in, of course. Just because I am here, I got hired. I mean, it means I'm good enough to be there, but at the same time, I need to be able to listen to them actively, on the trust. Yeah, of course, I need to work on it too. So it comes to both parties want to work together
to become one,
just like a relationship.
Yeah, become one, make a team, hit a goal together.
Yep.
So okay, so I have two questions because I'm interested. So because you're a coach, I know you're SNC, but you're not like the on-field coach, but I'm sure it's the same, I'm sure, at the core. So how it's interesting, you said you need to get the trust from the player, but as a player, I'm thinking I need to get the trust from the coach. So from your, as the coach's perspective, so how do you gain the trust from the player? How do you get them to buy into you?
Just listen. Just listen. Because well, it's not. I mean, right now I get the trust from certain group of people. Say, from lacrosse community, I get the trust just because when I say I worked with men's lacrosse team, Japanese men's lacrosse team, and look what they done in 2023. I was there. I was working with them for 2 years or 3 years. I mean, 2 years, yeah, and then helped them to win the bronze medal in the World Games in 2022, and helped them to win the 5th place in World Men's Lacrosse Championship. So it comes with certain degree of trust with that. Also, and for the breakdance community, if I say I worked with Ishin or Rico or Ayumi-san, Ami or Ishin, then many people know it because thanks to them, thanks to their performance, of course. But say I usually, how can I say? I don't mind working with other sports because I never, let's say, not mind. How can I say? It's always a new sport to work with for me, and what I do is just actively listen. Let's say when I was working with the lacrosse first time, I don't know anything about lacrosse. I just like, okay, they are wearing this helmet. For men's, they are wearing a helmet, protector, just like American football, and then use a stick. And that's it. I don't know anything about it, so I just listen to head coach, assistant coaches, players, what they want to do, what they want to achieve in this World Championship 2 years prior, and I understand they really want it. Like, say, the last World Championship was 2000. Before the 2023 was 2020. When was it? 18 or 19? I forgot. But it was postponed because of COVID. And for many of them who competed in a World Championship in Israel 5 years later, or for many of them who didn't get selected for World Championship, it was like a 7 years process, almost 8 years. So 7 years process, 1/3 of their life, dedicating to the lacrosse. So I'm glad I knew it. Right? And I'm glad I knew it. I'm glad I knew what they're going through. And then, so I was breaking. I'm glad I knew what it looks like to be a b-boy and b-girls, and what's the timeline whatsoever. Because I never worked with b-boys and b-girls. So I was boxing. I was in MMA. So I kind of understand what it looks like to compete in professional boxing. But I never worked with the professional boxers. I never worked with the squash players at this moment. Before, this is my team at this moment. So I have to read a lot of articles, scientific articles, books, and it's also be humble, be a humble person to learn what it looks like to compete in that court. So just because you're there, it doesn't mean anything. Just because you have a PhD, I mean, I have 2 master's degree, but it doesn't mean anything. And I keep in Missouri State. At Missouri State, I was told it doesn't matter how much you know. Athletes care how much you care. That's the only thing. And sometimes, many times we forget because we are coaches, we're S&C coaches, and we want to keep the certain standard. Okay, so we have to be a little bit more. Sometimes we have to be authoritarian, of course. A little bit. That's a double standard, of course. But yeah. Actively listen, and then you have to build a mutual respect. And this is what I stand for. I don't know anything about this sports, but this is a standard we have to have in order to compete at that level. It doesn't matter which sport you are in. If you want to compete at the highest level, there needs to be a higher standard. That's no brainer. That's no brainer. And then, doesn't matter if it's a squash, rugby, American football. Oh yeah. So go ahead.
No. I was just seeing if I could summarize what you're saying. So, if you want to compete at a higher level, then you have to, as a coach or the person in charge, have to set the standard higher because that's what required, and it's up to the athlete on our end, to meet at that level or surpass it. Like in terms of wanting.
We are here to help you, so we are help. But at the end of the day, you are the one you have to do it, because we are not going to be there 24/7 unless I'm your father, or I'm your brother, or I'm your husband or boyfriend. I'm not going to be there 24/7, right? Even then, let's say hypothetically, I'm married to the athlete, or I'm their father or brother, and their family. It's up to them. Hey, do the foam roll, eat breakfast properly, wake up, or take a nap, or eat.
Yeah.
I can say that as a family member, but
ultimately,
it's up to them. I mean, it's up to them. And also, some athletes can get away with it. I know several very talented Japanese athletes. I heard, I know, and also I heard of, is just atrocious in his personal life, but he still can bring it, and then he won a lot of national championship or world championship. But that's a very, very outlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason why he's there, but at the same time, not so many people are that. Not so many athletes are that level. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know if I'd want to have that kind of journey, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because when you're done competing, it's like, what's your foundation as a person, and then what can you do next? Because we have to think about of course, we have to focus on now and our goals now, but also you still have the rest of your life after you're done competing.
Exactly. exactly. I think that's a very good point, and reminds me of the video, another YouTube video, Dwayne Johnson speaking to LA Lakers. The old video, but it was a good book. It was a good watch, and yeah, I mean, I'm repeating myself. We set the standard because that's what they say they want. I mean, athletes said this is what we want. Okay, we set the standard. Can you handle it? I don't know, but we are here to, how can I say, dissect the process. Say James Clear, who he's the author of Atomic Habit, I believe, and his blog say, maybe there might be an exaggeration, but he was bringing us example of British cycling team, and then importance of 1% improvement every day. Or it doesn't have to be 1%, it can be 0.1% of improvement. And then if you do that every day, even a 0.1%, that's a tremendous increase of like over 30% of the improvement every year. Yeah. So we are the one who helped to show the process, and it's up to an athlete who wants to do it. I mean, also we are the humans, so some players don't like me, some player loves me, some athlete other don't care. That's the harsh reality, of course. Of course, I want to be liked by every athlete, but that's not realistic. Some people, again, some athletes don't like me. That's fine because we're a human being, and I don't like some athletes, and it's okay. But we are professional, so let's work together. Those set aside. Hey, I experienced this. I have this experience. I have this knowledge, and then let's work together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I think about that quite often too, because I think for a lot of there's no specific point I'm trying to make right now, but just the concept of being liked.
Yeah.
I think is very relevant, especially for my generation. Especially for my generation and younger generation. Especially in the social media society. Not to be cliche, but I don't know. Just recently, I feel I do not want to be controlled by other people's opinions.
Yep.
And there's so many voices. I just feel tired. You know?
Yeah, it's exhausting, of course.
Yeah. So that's something in terms of my own values I've been really thinking of and applying. Yep. Not just thinking, but applying.
And it's always there, and it's always there, and that makes you doubt yourself, your decision, your life, your journey, whatsoever. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, I believe it doesn't matter how old you are, but especially younger people. It's tough for me, so I can't imagine how tough it is for younger people. We're social animals. At the end of the day, we want to be liked. We want to be liked. We want to be, loved. We want to be included. But at the same time, that's not how it works. So we have to keep the balance. And if it's gonna be and then it would be nice if you can, how can I say, liked by the people who matter most to us. And that reminds me of another Mike Tyson. If you are friends with everybody, then you're. If you don't have enemy or something like that, like if you are friends with if you don't have enemy, you don't have a friend. Or that kind of line. I forgot. I have to look it up. But so it happens. It happens.
なるほど。ありがとうございます。時間大丈夫？
全然大丈夫よ。
You remind me when I'm talking to you, I'm getting so much wisdom, but also I'm thinking of unagi.
Yeah, we eat unagi. Yes.
Yeah.
We eat unagi.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was.
Going.
Oh.
You miss it, right?
I do miss unagi. So many things.
I mean, I don't know if everybody knows unagi. If you're posting this part, people are like, "What's unagi?"
What's unagi? Yeah, it's okay. They don't need to know.
Braised eel rice ball. Oh,
so good.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes. That's good. We went to where was it? Ise.
Ise.
Yeah, we met in Ise. Yeah, where you live. Yeah, I mean, how far away from?
Maybe 1 hour.
Oh, well, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it.
No, it's okay. It was your birthday. I didn't even know.
Yeah, so it was a good one. Yeah, And then you said two questions. What was it?
Oh, I asked one already about the trust, and then
one thing. Yeah, the athletes needs to earn the trust too. Yeah, of course. But we, as the coaches, need to earn the trust too. That's a short answer. Of course. Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny because I was speaking because I have a lot of athlete friends, right? And you kind of see, you reach a level where you're all professional. Okay, cool. But then within the professionals, there's levels as well in terms of, and it's just interesting. I'm thinking of, okay, well, I'm 26. I know I only have a certain amount of time left. So how do I want to finish my career? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How am I going to maximize each year to count? And just thinking about one of my buddies who has, I think, lots of potential. But I'm not too sure if they optimize it, which is fine because maybe they're comfortable with where they're at. Maybe they, different goals, doesn't matter. But in terms of wanting it, I've been really thinking about, okay, do you notice any patterns between the athletes who want it and the athletes who don't want it? Like, do the athletes who want it, do they grow up a certain way? Or do you notice anything consistent in that? Like, how do you become a person who wants it,
Good question.
Because what does that even mean?
Right? Go ahead.
So no, sorry. It's just like, what does that even wanting it? What does that even mean? Like, we know what it means, but then it's like, what does it mean? So.
So this comes down, I believe. That's a good question. And I studied lifestyle sports, namely surfing or extreme sports, surfing, breaking, and parkour. I studied a bit. I studied it in my second master degree, and that was surfing was my how can I say, a master thesis, or graduation project, if you will. I mean, so I came across with this. Article, scientific article, and then talking about the parkour, and then I believe it's going to be the good. I think it's going to be very relevant for many sports. One of the theme he was talking about was power of will, and then power of will is very relevant in lifestyle sports such as surfing. Then what that is what means is that I like lifestyle sports athletes. So the reason why I'm saying that is, again, the power of will, and it means you're going to surpass today's you will surpass the yesterday's you yesterday, and they're trying to do that every day. I mean, it's not scientific per se for the recovery standpoint, but they're trying to do that every day, and I like that. And I believe this is one of the traits I saw in probably many guys. They get it done. Let's say what I mean by that is they do. Let's say if coach says, "Hey, do it," I think discipline is the right word. Discipline. If coaches are saying, okay, let's say if the SNC coach say, "Hey, do this before warm up, team warm up," they do it. Let's say when I was in Malaysia working with the gold medalists, and also doesn't have to be only that gold medalist particular, and then his group, they do it. They do what needs to be done before the warm up. Say, do the bike for 5-10 minutes, do the Turkish get up, do necessary mobility work, and they do it. And then so it's smooth to do the team warm up. It's individualized warm up. Like it can be done 10-15 minutes before the warm up starts. So yeah, and it's same as Team Japan Men's Lacrosse. So the top players in a starting member usually let's say Shinya Tateishi, he is one of the team world. I think he is number one player in Asia. Shinya Tateishi is saying Kanaya, Yanai, and Dai Sato, Umehara. They're the players who competes as a core players. They do that. So as in breaking, like Ishin does that. Ishin did that. Ayumi-san did that. Ami-chan did that. Riko did that. So they do what they need to do without thinking. Yeah. So it might be called, again, discipline. It might be called what's the other word? I forgot. But discipline or hunger for improvement. And if they don't feel the result they want, then they consult constructive criticism with me. Hey, this doesn't work. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? It didn't work. How can I do it? This does work. I keep going. So they are very particular about what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do, when they're gonna do. They know exactly. They know exactly, consciously or subconsciously. They know what they're gonna do, how they're gonna do, when they're gonna do, and where they're gonna do. They know exactly all those things. They know exactly those things, and how long. And yeah, so I think that's another reason why they are successful. And if they are not successful in if they didn't get the result they want, they're gonna give us feedback. It's not like dumping everything. Just, hey, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? But all those players who doesn't go above the level they want to go, they're just casual. They're just there because they get to be there. That's it. They're just there. They're not involved. Yeah. They're not involved. They're just there. They're not in it. Yeah. Yeah. So,
well, what do you think about the athletes who they know that they're not involved, but they want to become one of those involved athletes,
What if they, what was the question again?
Like, those athletes who realize that they're not involved, that they don't want it as much as the others, or they're kind of just passive. I don't know, just interesting. Maybe I don't really know what my question is, but just the idea of wanting it, like where that, like why, like where does that hunger really come from? And like those athletes who maybe they see that they're not hungry, like maybe they see that they're casual and passive, how they can get the hunger to then go into a new category of hungry, going from not as hungry to going hungry, or that's interesting to me.
That's very interesting, and also it could be said hunger might be the wrong word per se, because I'm coming from old generation, so hunger can be wrong word for many younger generation. Probably it can be said craftsmanship. It's a craft. They are building. They are making. So it's like a Michelangelo or in the Sistine Chapel or those sculpture, right? So they have the ownership of their own craft. That's the very important one. And then many I mean, in this day and age, many things going to be taken care of, even though you're not going to be the professional athlete. Say food, or how can I say, minimum needs, right? It's going to be met.